Hello
Hello.
and welcome to episode
G'day.
12 of the Collectors Pack
G'day,
Live.
everyone.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, we're doing awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get into it, I want to say to you guys, obviously over the last 3 live streams, you guys have done a tremendous job of having awesome guests on the show. Between the last 3 live streams, we've had a Hollywood actress, we've had a very credentialed artist, and we've had a couple of legends from the YouTube toy community. So I'm hoping that this one isn't a letdown, that we've just got the 4 of us, the pack. But at least we can just kind of hang out and have a bit of a chin wag. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it's where we started.
That's it. We're taking it back to basics, but it'll be fun. So how have you blokes been? Ryan, what's going on with did you have a nice weekend?
Yeah, I had an awesome weekend. Just with looking after the kids and picked up some good stuff. If you would like to see.
Yeah, well, do you want to do? I don't have really anything in the way of pickup. So if you want to, if you got something to share, let's have a quick squeeze. I do want to say g'day, Lee. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well.
So my brother from Melbourne sent me these 2 Real Ghostbusters books. Which I've never seen before.
Sorry.
These are really awesome. Yeah, they're like kids' books, but I've never seen them before. So he got those for me. Sent them in the mail.
When are they from? What year?
I think they're the 80s.
Oh, the 80s? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can read them to your son, Ryan. Introduce
I can. Yeah.
That's it.
1988. There you go. 1988. Real Ghostbusters.
Retro Cartel, g'day.
So that's pretty cool. And then Saturday night, I was just on Facebook Marketplace, and I found there was a guy selling a box of Star Trek Next Generation figures. So I picked up a box of 24 Star Trek figures. I don't have them all here, but I just thought I would show a couple of them.
Adam, what's going on, brother?
G'day, Adam.
Jean-Luc Picard, and
that's a cool one.
Data.
Yeah, they come with a lot of accessories, those things.
They do, yeah. So have a look on the back here. You got all the accessories. Now these were most of these are unpunched, as you can see. But yeah, when I asked the guy, where these come from, he said, they've just been sitting in the garage for about 5 years, and he just decided to get rid of them. So there you go. So nice pickup on Star Trek Next Generation figures. So a little sneak peek. I'll probably do a bit of a review episode on that. But yeah, pretty crazy.
Well, if you look behind Matt's shoulder, you can see them all lined up.
Yeah.
That's what they look like out of the box. Right?
That's it.
That's how they should look, isn't it, Matt?
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not behind their plastic tube.
That's it.
So Ryan, is that a line that you collect, or is obviously, I know you got a toy fair coming up. You're probably busy planning for. Is that something?
I might put some on the toy fair. But it's kind of pretty nostalgic for me, because a lot of these figures I actually bought as a teenager, growing up. So I had like the card, I had Data, and a lot of the other characters. And then recently sort of getting a lot of Star Trek stuff. So it's kind of right place, right time. And,
that's awesome.
Would you do? Would you consider doing on, like, whether it be a premiere live or even just something you record, cut them out of their bubble, or you want to leave them on card?
I have been tempted, Matt. I would love to set them up, because I do have a lot of loose. Is that a dare? Do you reckon I should do it?
Yeah, I reckon.
I mean, they're not really worth that much, but yeah, I mean,
no, they're not really.
So
many of them.
Yeah,
it's funny. The new ones that are worth more than what the old ones are.
They are. Yeah, I was watching Geek Dad Live.
Dean, Sarah.
Dean, Sarah, hope you guys are doing well.
He was talking about it. He's like, it's cheaper to buy the old vintage figures.
Daniel,
what's up, buddy?
Than the new ones. And the new ones don't even look like sculpting's weird. Like they're done 3D scans or something.
They're a little bit taller too, aren't they, Matt?
They are.
They look good. And you know where the legs come up to the bottom. It looks a bit weird as well. They kind of it's just two pegs sticking out of a bum. Oh,
that's right.
Like the old Mego ones. Like the old Mego ones, aren't they? They look like that. They look like a pair of underpants on or something.
Yeah, they don't look that. They just don't look right.
Yeah, Pete.
Hey, Peter.
But yeah, it just shows you can't beat the original vintage goodness. I think the originals are the best. So there you go.
As they say, they don't make them like they used to.
That's right.
Have you got them all, Matt?
No. There's so many figures, and I just wanted to get the core figures. And there's like some Target exclusives. So these ones here at the front with their grace, they're from the movie. The first, which one? I think First Contact. They started going over to the grey.
Oh, the grey collar.
Show the audience, Matt. Grab one and show the audience, please.
Okay. We'll grab the old fella. There's Picard. So I think First Contact is when they did these Target exclusives. Yeah. And at the time, they were really hard to get. I had to get them from America, and then I found some in Australia. But yeah, there was just these are, I think, maybe these are the harder ones to get. Like these are the 5-inch. I think they re-released them as a little bit bigger later on. But,
I think there was one that they didn't do in the uniform though. You had to pop the head off a spare one and then put another head on.
I don't know.
I can see Daniel's question. So for me, it would have to be the Star Trek Next Generation Enterprise, because that's what I grew up with.
Fair enough. I think.
What about you, blokes?
I think I like the Enterprise. I don't know why I watched the Next Gen so much more, and my brother was into it, so him and I really connected over it and knew so much about it. So yeah, just that Enterprise. I've forgotten what is it. The D. Enterprise D is the favorite. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to go grab and show you my favorite one because we're relaxed tonight.
We got all the time we want to spend, and it's a toy thing. So that's
it.
Well,
just like our good friend Gary B, the casual comic book guy, we're keeping it casual.
Keeping it
That's it. Keeping it cash.
Now, while Andrew is retrieving his favorite version of the Enterprise, we've got a new friend of the channel. Yeehaw. Welcome. Yeehaw.
Thank you for joining.
That's an easy one, isn't it?
Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
It's like a little unboxing.
Yep. Wollongong, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well,
there's nothing in there, Andrew.
Well, I had taken it out originally. Let me spend a second and put the
All right. Well, while Andrew assembles that, Matt, why don't you tell us how you've been, mate? How your weekend was, and what's going on in your world?
It's been good. Look, I think I'm just getting back to basics. Just I've kind of decided, I've been really enjoying trying to hunt down some older figures. So as in things from the 80s, I've picked up, I've picked up the Infaceables recently and over the weekend. So I got this last week, and I don't want whole lines. I just want something interesting. Good old Andrew. Andrew does do unorthodox.
That's what I like about it, though. Oh, you got some Brave stuff.
I got Brave. No, he doesn't. He's complete with it. Just got no hat.
Missing the hat. Yeah.
But I don't know. I've seen. Okay, so the story behind this is I've seen it with. Do you guys know another channel called Go Figure? He's friends more, I guess, with Phil from Treasures with Trigger and Zazel. Okay. His name's Adam. So I seen something. It was on that Toy Treasures that I was on, and he just flashed this up, and I went, "Far out, man! That is like an ultra cool figure." And he had his white hat on, and I went, and he had it pretty much in that pose. I went, "Bloody hell, that is an excellent figure! I want that in my collection." So this one was like a pretty good price on Australian eBay. No hat, and then I thought it'll be easy to find a hat, and no, it wasn't. So I I woke up one morning and went, I wonder if Adam from Go Figure can help me out. Like, so I just contacted him via Instagram. Goes, mate, I've got a spare hat for you. I'll send you one. Where are you? And I went, I'm in Australia. I said, just send it to my US account. He says, no problem. I said, well, what can I give? You know, I can give you something for it. And he's like, nah, don't bother. I've got a few of them. So my hat's coming for Marshall Brave stuff. But bloody hell,
They're so cool, aren't they? Yeah.
An 8-inch figure. I guess Mum and Dad didn't get this line as a kid because I think we were more into 3 3/4, so he was way out of scale.
Yeah.
But I've loved cowboys.
Man,
since I was
Space
a little kid.
Cowboys. Like
they're so big. They're quite large figures. You know?
Yeah, the
really
scale's pretty wild.
Yeah,
really close one. I don't want the whole line. I think maybe might be just stuck with him.
Yeah, that's great.
Maybe I'll get a baddie. One of the Tex-Mex, is it?
You never know. You might get
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex.
I'm hungry.
That's right, because tonight's one's sponsored by Mexican Doritos too. So,
you never know. You might throw in some Kyrium for you.
Simon.
You know the orange crystal.
Yeah, Kyrium.
Yeah. Oh, I've got some of that coming too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a little bit
that
of
stuff's liquid gold.
Yeah. All right, my Enterprise was from the motion picture, so it's the A. That's my favourite Enterprise. There you go. Yeah, I love this Star Trek the motion picture. Everybody bags it, but I remember seeing it in the movies, and I loved it. So, and they got a new version of it, a director's cut, and they put a lot of stuff back in it that makes a lot more sense. So,
well,
anyway,
while we're talking the Enterprise, Daniel's asking, you guys got any standout, worst or least favorite versions that come to mind?
That's a hard question because they all sit in different.
Maybe
different series.
Maybe the C. That was the one that looked in between the. It
didn't get much airtime. The C.
No, it didn't. But they did do a model of it, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a tough question because there's so many different versions.
I mean, I just liked the Reliant. It was just the first time you actually sort of see a sort of different starship. Pardon?
Like the E. There you go. If I've got to pick one, if someone's twisting my arm, it's going to break. E, because E replaced the D, and D was like my fave. And it's like you got your favorite actor doing a role like James Bond, and he gets booted for some lame-o, and you go, So E, Enterprise.
Fair enough. So going back to the Brave Star, Matt, is that do you have any Brave Star in the collection yet?
No, so this is my first.
That's so cool.
That's why I picked it, and I was looking at also Black Star as well. I thought, a couple of Black Star figures. So I thought I was going to get a couple of those guys. I just want to, the way modern figures are these days, they're so hard to come by. We just, we can't go and find them in shops. They're just not there. So what we have to do is just go online to find them anyway. So I thought, well, I may as well, if I'm going to go online, I may as well go online, or I can go to a toy show and find guys like this.
That's so cool.
And my other thing I've got to show you, because I love space, and I'm sorry I've taken up a lot of time here, but
no, right, mate.
I got this. So they had this in Melbourne in Lobos, but they wanted like twice the price for it, and so I just held off. Come back from Melbourne, and I found this. It's supposed to be complete. I'm not opening it. I'm going to open it up with Andrew when we next see each other, so we can play with it. We're going to play with this thing. I've got the figures up there. And we're just
is it like a diorama or?
Yeah, so it's like a vinyl bottom here, and I think this is more cardboard, and it's plastic in the middle, and it's electronic. So it says some lame verses out of the show, I think, but it's gonna just set it up and play. That's what it's all about.
So cool.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just really happy to find that by the time I got back from Melbourne, he actually taken $50 off it. So I was like,
was that on eBay or just?
Yeah. And I've always wanted one, and they're just so hard to find. And there it was, just before Melbourne. And I went, you little monkey. Why are you putting that up before Melbourne for, man? And,
Yeah.
so I just crossed my fingers and hoped.
Sometimes it just pays off to wait, you know.
That's it.
does.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a bit of
And
patience.
sometimes it doesn't, because I put off getting that Playmobil's Enterprise from.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And because we're going to Melbourne, and and then come back and I go, oh well, I'll get back on. Not gone.
Yeah.
Off Savvy. Yeah.
Ship sailed.
Ship sailed. Yep. That's.
Well, that's it, Lee. That's why I've just decided I've kind of gone down the route of what Scott does and just go, look, it's just let's do vintage. Like, very rarely go after some of these figures like Origins. I love the Origins there. That is a fantastic line, but they're just so hard to come by in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty simplified view of it, but I don't understand, to Lee's point, like why modern stuff should be so expensive that it makes the vintage stuff look cheap. Like, it's made today for the collector's market. These manufacturers should know the demand and be able to produce accordingly to keep the price point. Because, I mean, you're not just wanting to sell one figure to someone, you're wanting to sell the notion of collecting them all to someone. Therefore, it has to be within people's reach to collect them all, both in terms of being accessible, to Matt's point, but also priced accordingly. You know what I mean?
Well, because the manufacturing was all done in China, and now all the tension between America and all that sort of thing, and most of the stuff isn't coming out of China anymore. In fact, a lot of the companies are moving. I mean, isn't it the dinosaurs now, Matt? Mattel come out of Vietnam or something now, don't they, Matt?
Yeah, that's why we get them all the time.
Yeah, we get them all the time. So, and the Origins were still made, if you look on the packaging, in China. And there's just not nothing coming. They must, unless they're in a transition from moving their factories to Vietnam, so they can get production done. But I think the tensions they got between the US and China, they're just not getting anything out.
Just one thing here that I just want to address real quick. So Yeehaw is asking about, like, aside from eBay, where do you guys recommend? And I'll answer it just from my perspective in a moment. But if I remember correctly, is Yeehaw from the South Coast or like the Wollongong area?
Yeah, he just said South Coast.
Because so I just while I think of it, because I think I saw on one of the Facebook groups recently in December, there's actually a toy fair in Wollongong.
Oh.
And a few people from the Misfits toy group on Facebook, one of which I believe is Chris B, are actually having a pop-up store for a good few weeks or a month.
Oh, wow.
Where the toy fair is going to be. So if you want to, like, maybe put a comment on, or put a comment on the video, like not in the live chat because I won't be able to find it, but maybe after we're done, put a comment on the video, or just like send me a DM on Instagram at Crusher Collects. I'll send you the details of that, because if you're on the South Coast, it might be a really good opportunity to be able to
catch up,
check out this toy fair and this pop-up store and get some good stuff. But to answer your question, I mean, for me, look, eBay is it's not where I go to get cheap stuff. It's where I go to to get the stuff that pops up that I just need and I'm willing to pay retail price for it. But Facebook groups, I mean, there's plenty of toy Facebook groups out there. I mean, I love going to toy fairs, and we're lucky in Sydney that we've got a really, by Australian standards, from my experience, a great toy fair every second month in Collecticon.
Yeah.
And then, you go to Melbourne and they're even more spoilt than we are in a way, because they got two ridiculously awesome vintage stores in Lobos and Aaron. So, look, I'll still go into like op shops and thrift stores and vintage stores and stuff when I happen to be going past. But it's, to me as a collector, it's not a good use of my time anymore to go digging through Vinnies, because I end up walking out with a couple of DVDs and that's it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it.
That's right.
Yeah. They all know what they're worth in those shops, so they either pinch them for themselves, or unless they're like Andrew's local Vinnies, and the old lady throws them all the toys in the bin.
Because she hates me now.
Yeah.
That's purely just to upset Andrew.
Yeah, it was purely upset.
Right. Andrew.
Yeah.
You should have.
Andrew's obviously rubbed her the wrong way.
You should have treated her with
on the hard stuff
love.
tonight. Thanks, Adam.
Andrew, have you got a beverage? I see like Matt's joining me on the big boy Heineken cans. Andrew, have you got a beverage or?
I have today's which was the collector's back sponsored by Heineken.
Oh,
what do we got to? What do we got to do to get a Heineken sponsorship?
Yeah, I got some left over, I think, when you came down.
That's all right. That's all right.
And gin and tonic for Ryan.
That's it, gin and tonic. Straight up.
Andrew, we didn't get to you, mate. So how was your weekend? How are you traveling? Any new acquisitions for the collection lately?
Not really. I've been digging out things, as you saw, and sort of doing short little videos. So the last one we did was the Alien Queen Hive. And
that was awesome.
I hadn't got that out of the box, when I bought it. That has been in the box since I got it in 1998.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So that's why the user's just here, just up here. Yeah. So this ooze, as you can see, it's got that's not sticky tape. That's like it is a little bit sticky, but it's sealed. It's actually factory sealed plastic round, and there's nothing in it. And I'm going, what's yeah? Because I go, it's not
disintegrated, probably expired.
It's dehydrated. So what was in it is dehydrated out the seal, out the seal in there, and it's gone. Because that is actually factory sealed. I thought maybe someone put sticky tape around it.
Yeah.
But no, there's actually a seal. It's got a plastic seal there. And it was just gone. And I couldn't believe it. And but it was funny. Because the stuff was still in the plastic bags. So someone actually, I don't know if I ever did. I don't think so. Someone's cut it. I had a look at it and gone and put it back in the box. And then I got it out 24 years later or something.
Man, it's crazy that you've got things in your collection that weren't vintage when you bought them, and now they are.
Well, that's right. That's what I was saying. Is anything over 20 years vintage? Or was it 25 years? I mean, a car. We're going to over 20 years, isn't it?
I don't want to go back over that because we discussed it at length when we had.
I know.
These are 1992,
I used to think 20 years, but 2002 to me doesn't seem vintage. Anything with a 2000 in front of it, I don't think I'll ever really see that. I think a vintage toy has probably a lot to do with the era of your childhood and your own nostalgia and all that sort of stuff. Right. I mean, in 2002, I was of drinking age. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like vintage toys from the 2000s to me, but people might answer that different.
But other than that, I've been sort of washing the toys we got from the tub sale. So some of the Star Wars ones and things that, and so some of them come up all right, but some haven't. Some must have been out in the sun, left out and they've yellowed. So, but anyway, I've given them a clean up, and they can be spares. I just stick up near the other ones. So
he never sells anything.
It's too hard, It's too hard. I think I sold one thing in 30 years. And I regret it.
Retro Cartel Collectible is just saying, he goes thrifting every week and rarely finds anything decent in the way of vintage action figures. And then a new friend here was just saying, check out the garage sales if they're back on. Have you guys ever had like a really memorable thrift store or garage sale find? I mean, when I think of garage sales and vintage toys, I think of my mum selling all mine at garage sales over the years. I haven't found anything awesome at garage sales over the years. If I'm driving past, I'll always stop by and have a look. But I feel like watching YouTube channels of toy collectors in the States, it's common practice to have these big town-wide garage sales. And I don't really feel like we have that same thing going on here because you might check Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree and you might have 2 or 3 local garage sales on a weekend, but you're not going to be able to hit up 20 at least. It's in my experience.
Not as common, no.
Yeah,
I mean there was Trash and Treasure, and that was where I picked up a lot of stuff.
What's Trash and Treasure? Is that the tip store? Is that an op shop? What's that?
That was like originally going back to the sort of like late 90s there. 95 onwards they started, I think, and that's where at the old drive-ins and things like that, people come in. It was like car boot sales.
Oh,
so they come,
yeah.
And it was awesome. I got there's a big Jurassic Park dinosaur there from the Lost World. I got that for 50 cents, and it had the little bloke in the cage inside him and all that sort of thing. And it was awesome because a lot of people just sort of getting rid of it, and that's what it was. They were just getting rid of their garage stuff they cleared out. Then as the years went by, a bit started to turn in like over here in we've got a thing called Paddy's Markets, and Paddy's Markets was just all brand new stuff, but all that cheap overseas import stuff, and that's what Trash and Treasure started to be. Started to get the same sellers selling the same stuff, professional sellers, and the person who just wanted to clear out their garage, that started to get harder and harder to pick any good things up. But
it's a tough one here because I feel like in the UK car boots are massive. It's a big thing, and from what I understand, like 10 years ago at car boots, you'd find vintage toys for cheap. Now you still do, but not to the same extent.
Not as much.
And then the US obviously has a lot of certain parts of the US. I'm assuming just from what I see online, flea markets seem to be bigger there than here, and obviously they have these like town-wide garage sales and stuff. Yeah, it's tricky for us. Like, there's a few places in my area that are worth a look, like the Blacktown, the drive-in markets at the Skyline Cinema at Blacktown. Like, but
that was the Trash and Treasure.
Yeah, but the last time I went there, I came back with nothing. I went there at the start of this year and got some VHS and some other just random odds and ends for the collection for a few bucks a piece. But as far as like vintage action figures,
not much. No.
The best garage sale I ever went to was I walked down these stairs and my mum and my dad was there, my two brothers were there, and all my He-Man figures were there, all my action figures were there. It was my own garage sale.
Oh, no.
Brutal.
That was the best one I ever went to. all my toys getting sold.
Oh man, and not for big money either.
Probably no way. Mum and Dad just flogged them off.
Like 50 cents here, $1. Yeah.
Well, my toys are still there. They're just 6 feet under the ground in a tip at the back of Greystones.
That's wild.
Insane.
What about you, guys?
My best pickup was at a op shop in Melbourne, and it was a vintage Masters of the Universe Mantisaur, like the praying mantis kind of character.
Oh, he had a video on it.
Yeah. Someone did a shout out. I think it was Slimehouse TV. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And it was in a teddy basket kind of thing, and I found all the parts, put them all together, 100% complete. I went up to the counter and I said to the guy, "Oh, how much do you want for this?" And he's like, 50 cents. I'm like, "Cool, there you go." And I don't have it anymore, but it's like
that is awesome.
Crazy. It was pretty wild. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, still can't beat the yak face from the doctors.
No, from the
surgery.
That's insane.
In the waiting room, sitting there in the toy box.
You've still got it, haven't you, Andrew? Have you still got that, Andrew? Or?
Pardon?
Have you still got that?
Yeah. So let me run off again. Just right in.
3 Street Sharks to find.
Dean's making some serious progress on the Street Sharks collection.
He is. He sent me a couple of pictures on Instagram or Messenger, and he got some really killer, Street Sharks. So he's doing well. There he is.
And he looked like he was brand new, out of the box. I couldn't see the staff though, but the bloke brought it in. He just goes, "Oh, I got these old toys, and it was sitting on top, and my daughter just grabbed it, and she was just about to go, and I went, "Yoke."
No,
so Andrew, so you were sitting there when they came in.
Yeah, the doctor came in, and he had a basket, G1 Transformers, everything like that, and they all had little weapons and that. And I was just going, what can I do? I see it going from my head. What can I do? Okay, if I go and ask him, can I buy the whole box? He'll, but my daughter was going to destroy it. And so I rescued it and went to the toy rescue facility. And, but when I went back only like a few weeks later with my daughter, they were all gone.
Yeah.
Everything was gone. Everything had been taken.
Someone probably would have just gone, grab all this.
Grab all this, yeah. I mean, if they're in a doctor's surgery waiting room, they're going to be destroyed or stolen.
Yeah.
It's just
that's a good one, Lee. National
That's
crazy.
I mean, yeah. So Retro Cartel Collectible saying garage sales in my area don't have anything older than 2010 toys and modern Macca stuff like that. That's the problem. Like you need to be going to a garage sale of someone that hasn't had a garage sale in 30 years.
That's
you know
correct.
what I mean? Because if someone's doing it regularly, those things would have been cycled out already. It's
Well, that's why Matt and I were wondering where the Canberra bike gets his stuff from.
Yeah. CVCC. I wonder where they get it from.
I think a lot of. I mean, maybe I get the sense that a lot of people bring stuff into them. You know what I mean? I guess that's the perks of if you've actually got like a permanent vintage store set up. You're going to have people coming in to say, "Hey, do you have any interest in this?" You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I know they hit but I know they hit the road and go source from all over. So. Yeah, because I mean they've got a whole bunch of new stuff in that store recently, like new superpower stuff and a lot more Motu stuff. So might be worth another visit at some point, fellas.
Yeah, definitely.
Daniel was just saying up there because not too many people know because there's Varan. He says I recently got a Varan by accident. So Varan is like a kaiju, like an old Japanese movie from. Oh, gee, I'm going to get it wrong. I'd say 1959. Wow. But yeah, I wonder if that's a Bandai one. I didn't think Bandai made it. So it must be some other brand.
Be another company.
That's incredible. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, sorry, Rudy's saying exactly what I was saying before. Like people approach collector and vintage stores direct to buy the stuff they no longer need. So,
that's correct.
Yeah, it's tricky just to expect to go into like a Vinnie's or a Salvo's and expect to find like a, vintage like 80s or 90s toys line about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's just not.
It's a stroke of luck these days.
Yeah, exactly right.
We just didn't get this. I guess you look back at the 80s, in particular. I guess we just didn't get that type of. America is a massive place. They would have just got a massive amount of toys. So that's why they go into these vintage or retro shops and they've just got all these lines that, Cadillacs and dinosaurs just up there like it was yesterday. Yeah. And you go, how have they got that? And you found it at Lobo, Scott, but you go into any of these shops, any across America, and they've got them. $5 each. And we just didn't get the mass.
And it wouldn't surprise me if that Cadillacs and dinosaurs like Kentro had been sitting at Lobo's for years, you know what I mean? Until someone comes along,
That's it. It's probably just sitting there gathering dust, and then they're like, guys, "Here you go."
Going back to Matt's Brave Star, new collection. Something I've actually been curious to ask you guys because you know me, like I collect vintage stuff only, and because of that. I find myself like getting drawn to new lines like all the time. Like, I only have to see an Instagram post or a YouTube video and think, I wouldn't mind getting some stuff like that for my collection. And the answer to the question is for Matt's probably Brave Star and was it Black Star you said? But
yeah, Black Star. Yeah.
And this might be a tricky one for Andrew to answer because obviously just the scope of his collection. But do you guys have? Is there one or toy line or a couple of toy lines in mind where you literally have nothing? Like you don't have just a single one-off figure, but you literally have nothing, and you're like, I wouldn't mind getting into that line.
Oh, God. Well, I don't have a Brave Star.
But is that something that appeals to you, Andrew, or not so much?
Well, I remember seeing them years ago, and it was like Matt was saying, because though the scale was quite large. I think I was back. I remember being back home and I was collecting, and could only fit so much stuff under the bed, and around the bedroom. And I remember seeing big sets of it for sale and that. And I've sort of gone past it thinking, well, it's too big to sort of house. I mean, looking back, I went, bloody hell, buy it. But I've seen like full sets of it. I've gone past that, and things like that, and all sorts of things, those. A line that I would want collecting. You might have to jump to Ryan while I think about it. Give me
something that I really like to get is Visionaries. I keep seeing videos pop up on it, and like BTR Dave did a prize giveaway on a couple of weeks back, and I was just like, oh, that'd be awesome, Though I did still score something pretty cool.
I know you did.
Star Wars books.
I claim that prize, man.
I know. I saw the comment. But I do actually have something Visionaries coming in the mail as we speak, so it's pretty cool. But I just like the holograms and just the style and that. I think it'd be really, really neat to get a couple.
Yeah, it's a cool toy line for sure.
Yeah,
you've got them.
Well, he's got one. I'm gonna let Ryan pass on that because he doesn't have it in his possession just yet.
I don't have it yet. So.
What about you, Matt? And just g'day, Muzza. I didn't say hi before, mate. Sorry about that.
G'day, Muzza. I don't know. Shivers.
While Matt thinks, Adam, I definitely follow Froggy Flips on.
Yeah,
I watch him all the time. He's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's great.
The amount of stuff he gets, you just. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
you go, Andrew.
Well, I just sort of, it's sort of really hard. I mean, sort of like when we went down to Melbourne, I considered chased up some of the older lines like Aliens and things. That's why it got me inspiration to get the Queen Hive out.
Yeah.
Same with the Star Trek stuff. I mean, I got it. But like Matt, I haven't got all the figures. And when I saw that shuttle, that sort of gave me a craving again for a toy craving. Right. So
that shuttle's cool.
To get that, but when at the moment I'm waiting for on eBay, I bought a Mo2 wrestling ring. They did Masters Universe Origins did a wrestling ring, and it's in the same style as actually the castle.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so, because I'm thinking more about doing, I like to do the photos as well on Instagram. And so I was going to put the castle and then have the wrestling ring and sort of each week sort of thing, do a photo with Sting, which is my favorite wrestler.
That's it.
versing anything in the, and I think Sting will come out on top. I want Sting to come out on top all the time, no matter what it is.
And fighting like an alien or the Queen. That'd be cool.
So is Masters of the WWE Universe the line that you don't have now that you would get into?
Well, it's actually Masters Origins I don't have, even though it's new. I mean, I'm not sort of going down the vintage path for that, even though the Origins are nearly harder to get.
You've got some Origins.
Yeah, I've got some Origins, but I need all of them.
You don't have. There's no line that you don't have any of that you'd get into now.
Infaceables. Come on, Andrew.
Infaceables, yeah, Infaceables.
What about you, Matt?
I've thought. Well, you see, I said Black Star. I don't have any Black Star.
Yeah, so that would be.
So I have been looking for some Black Star. Yeah. So I think that would be the one that I would like to get into. But they're really hard, really expensive.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Yeah. But just a representation of them.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy the whole set.
Until you start and then you find yourself wanting to get the whole set.
That's it. Well, it's like Centurions. Like I've got one of them, but I've got one of them, but they're just like they're getting so expensive,
Thanks, Pete. You're a gentleman, mate. I appreciate that.
I've got Ace, but I don't have any of the accessories or anything, and to get one with all the accessories and all the parts is just you're paying top dollar,
Is that what all the holes are for the little accessories?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
plug
So
in?
all the holes, you put all the accessories onto them.
So they're not screw holes.
No. But yeah, that's the only one I have. But that's another line that I'd love to get into. But again,
But you've already got one.
I do already have one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're saying humanoids, but I picked that bloody $5 one up from the last show, so I can't.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, see, my answer to that would be like Silverhawks, but I've already got one of them.
Yeah.
Or it would be Food Fighters, but I've already got one.
It's
so
hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm thinking about something that I've got none of, the only real, the obvious choice for me is Skeleton Warriors, because I've been eyeing them off for a while, and I haven't picked up any. So, and Ryan's most recent video only got me more psyched about that line, because the sculpts, the vac metal, the detail, they're friggin' awesome.
Yeah, it's a good line.
The accessories, they're rad.
Yeah, the sculpting on these are amazing. Yeah. Detail.
They're Playmates, right?
Yeah, Playmates. Yep.
Playmates at among their finest work, I reckon, in terms of sculpting and imagination. Plus, skeletons are just awesome. Like, what's not to love about that?
Amazing. I love skeleton stuff.
For sure.
I don't know why I guess I wonder why they failed. Do you think maybe they were just, sometimes they're just ahead of it. Like, it's the right product for the wrong time. Too scary.
And they had I've got it in a magazine somewhere where they did prototypes for the vehicles and skeletal dinosaur or something they were going to ride, or something like a big bird thing. Yeah, and all that sort of thing, and they can the line. It's just a shame.
Yeah,
but, I know why Matt would like them too, because we like the Ray Harryhausen skeletons that when we watch when we're a kid, they come out of the ground and they fight them.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that brings that back. That brings that back memory straight away.
Thinking of the Hydra.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Did I just see Sizz Dog in the chat as well?
Yeah, Sizz Dog's in the chat.
Those Skeleton Warriors are insane. Yeah. Hey, Sizz Dog.
G'day, Sizz.
Hey,
hope you're doing well, mate. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Favorite childhood memory that led them to action figure collecting? It's a good question. You know what? Mine has to be, because if we're talking about you know what? I'm actually reading this as what led them to action figure collecting as a kid. I mean, but I'm assuming that question is now framed more as like what draws you to action figure collecting now. But to me, the first place I think of when I think that is my first action figure line that I got into as a kid, which was the Ninja Turtles in like 1989 going into 1990. And I was lucky enough to go to the States when I was 6 years old with my family, because my dad had a work trip and the family came along. And I remember going to a toy store in the States, which was just like next level to our local Uncle Pete's Toys here. You know what I mean? It was like a Toys R Us in the States. Yeah. And just the aisle of TMNT figures and vehicles. And that was my introduction to the line. So I might have had one figure. I might have just had my Raphael by then. But yeah, that was kind of the start of action figure collecting as a kid, which again has had such a big impact on me that it's kind of where I've circled back to it as an adult. So that's what comes to mind for me. What about you blokes?
I think I'll start with the very first figure I got back into was the very first one I bought from eBay and started all this up again was He-Man. And He-Man for me was, as kids, we loved playing with our He-Man figures. And that just obviously just led on to other toy lines as kids. And I think just getting that He-Man figure alone just brought all those memories of how me and my brothers used to play with all our toys.
Yeah.
I guess that's what's led me back into the action figure collecting.
Yeah.
Just that memory. All those play days with my brothers.
That's it.
So good.
Yeah.
The best times.
Guys?
I guess for me, like I got a lot of Thunderbird stuff from mum and dad for Christmases and birthdays because that's what I grew up watching, and a bit of Doctor Who here and there. But really, it was probably like your Spider-Man and your Marvel figures, like Iron Man and that. I remember going to Toys R Us and Toy World and seeing them on the card, and really sort of fell in love with them, and I pretty much would buy like one or two every couple of months. So they were memories that I had of collecting toys back in the 90s.
That's awesome. Andrew, Star Wars for you, mate, was that where it all got? Was that where you were introduced to action figures, or
no? Because we're Matt and myself are both 70s boys, so it was for me. It was Big Jim.
Big Jim. That's
Big
right.
Jim, yeah, and
Jim,
a line called the Micronauts.
Yep,
they were big, and then eventually Star Wars did come out, but they had the Mego ones. Earlier on, they did a lot of Mego ones and things like that for the superheroes and things like that. So it was more the bigger dolls actually before they went. In fact, because the Micronauts have to be one of the first sort of 3 3/4 line, and then when Star Wars came out, it became real popular. Then that 3 3/4 line, but it was more the bigger dolls, Action Man, and things like that. So, where one of the first things I ever bought off eBay was some Big Jim. I think. The second thing was the Space 1999 Eagle. Yeah, and just getting back those.
You're such a lovable bastard. Thank you. You're such a lovable bastard. Thank you very much.
What about as a kid, Andrew? Any specific memories of like your first experience with action figures, or?
Yeah, well, like with the Big Jim camper van, which if people want to tune into our Matt's video of childhood memories, you'll see me with the Big Jim camper van. And as I said in there, because I used to play with it and push it, because back then you're only this high, and push it down like that. But all the characters to fit in there, and because a lot of the stuff we used to watch was still the old Western type shows. So they'd all hang in there and shoot out the Big Jim camper like it was a wagon. But when Star Wars came out, that was it. It was sort of like the science fiction part took over.
Yeah.
And then all the other good stuff coming out, like Buck Rogers and those type of figures that were in the same scale.
Yeah.
And they had many an adventure in the Micronauts spaceship and things like that, because they all fitted in the seats quite nicely.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I sort of, because as we got to the teens, we sort of like sort of mid-late 80s, we sort of stopped getting toys.
Sure.
The parents just go, well, you don't get toys anymore, you get 22 rifles or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, actually, to tell the story, when I was 15, I got my first 22 rifle, and I got it at Kmart in Marylands when they used to sell guns.
Really?
So, yeah, that's right. We went down, and they used to be next you got your toy aisle, and then because it was American, Kmart's American, so it was until they closed over there, and they had racks of guns and ammunition, sporting goods, and Dad picks out a gun for you. There you go.
Wow.
That's crazy. They stopped that in about, I think it was around about 90, because someone grabbed them and ran off out the front, and that was it. Kmart dropped the gun thing, but
that's crazy.
There you go.
I did not know that. So that's a piece of history.
Yeah. That's just showing me age, isn't it?
Yeehaw,
thank you. Good story though.
Yeah, and Yeehaw, thank you for that question.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That's awesome.
Just
sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
I was going to say I've got a photo snapshot of when I was 15.
That's an awesome pic.
And that's kind of a snapshot of what I had at the time. So Thunderbird, Star Wars, Spider-Man.
That looks nothing like you.
I know. Crazy, hey? Yeah, my mum sent me that a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Dark Dynasty Collectibles, welcome. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, actually, me and Matt were saying last night, because we were watching stuff on YouTube, and someone showed pictures of Christmas when they were young and with the presents, and I was saying, well, even Matt is the same sort of. Our parents didn't take many photos of us at Christmas time up wrapping presents, and we sort of you see all these American photos, and he's there with the He-Man and Star Wars and all that sort of thing, and I'm going to go through all mine, and my parents had taken like 1 million shots of scenery.
What about you blokes? Did you take lots of photos at when your kids were younger, like on Christmas morning? Like did you kind of take from your pet where you think your parents dropped the ball, or no?
Well, I think it was a video maybe.
Fair enough.
Instead.
Yeah.
What about you, Ryan? Do you take tons of photos of the kids playing with their toys Christmas morning?
I do now, yeah. So Christmas time, I'll take lots of photos.
Good on you.
So lots of memories.
Who would have thought it would mean so much? Like, I've got a few photos a few Christmas morning photos, which I'm going to roll out in an upcoming, Christmas gift memories type video that I'm going to be working on next month. But there's only a handful of them across all the childhood Christmases, you know what I mean? So
that's right.
And like recently, we talk about Greenie from Greenie's Toys on Facebook. Ryan, did you see the photo he posted of playing with all these Toxic Crusaders as a kid in the front yard?
No, I didn't see that one.
I mean, it's awesome. Like he's just sitting in on the grass, in the front yard, like with his Toxic Crusaders, and he's obviously his mum or dad's come and taken a photo. Like I don't have any photos of
something, but I'll have to check it.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But I just want to touch on Rudy's question quickly here about Hot Wheels or Matchbox diecast. So growing up, I was always very much an action figure kid, but my younger brother Mitch was very much a car guy. He's a Hot Wheels collector nowadays, and as a kid, he would always have Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars. Yeah. And we did have a lot of Hot Wheels sets growing up, but I feel like Hot Wheels as a brand represented something a bit different when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't about collectible cars released on card back that were kind of replicas of real cars or real pop culture cars. It was all about clicking these tracks together with loops and
tracks and stuff.
So I had those sorts of Hot Wheels sets as a kid, and a few Matchbox cars. My brother had a heap of Matchbox cars, but for me personally, it was slot car sets and Hot Wheels loop sets. But apart from that, I was sticking with the action figures.
Yeah, well, it's like my brother. Because he's older than me, but he was all Matchbox. So and the car tracks, and Scale Electric.
Yeah,
and not the little ones, but the bigger size ones that had the two little things that ran along.
Yeah,
and he's still got his original mini Bathurst set.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
So in the box, and so it came with 2 racing Bathurst minis. Because I did race them at Bathurst, and
of course,
and it was huge. It was a massive thing. I think it made it was like a double figure 8 you can make out of that box set. So it was a big thing. So he was into cars, and that's why he became a mechanic and had his own business, I suppose. And
that's so cool.
I played with the dolls, with the action figures.
What about you, Matt? Do you ever have Hot Wheels or Matchbox or anything like that, or Dinky or?
Well, just the cars we did. We loved Bathurst as kids, and not Corgi, no, just Matchbox and Hot Wheels. Yeah. And we love Bathurst, so we love the racing cars, and but for some reason we just had like a big stack of them, like in a bowl, and we'd pull them out all the time, but not as much as our action figures. But I remember each year we would make our own Bathurst track, the 3 of us, and there was rules. You'd need a dice, and each car each car had us in it. We had us, and we had our mums and dads and friends, and all in this race. And we had the famous races like Peter Brock and Dick Johnson.
That's
and we
crazy.
we just used this imagination and raced around. We had pencils made out of the track, the coloured pencils made our track, and it took, instead of Bathurst took a few hours, ours took 2 days to do. But we're kids, and we could do that. Yeah.
Those sorts of memories of all the made-up improvised games that you played and stuff like that. Like, I love all that sort of stuff.
Well, it was like my brother with the scale electric. He used to put oil on the track, so the wheels used to spin and make the smoke.
Oh, really? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
because they had soft rubber wheels, and they actually grip really well. So he goes, "Oh, you got to heat them up," and he, and then he'd win the race because the wheels are already heated up.
That's amazing. Yeah,
he's such a rev your bro.
Good on him.
But I had some corgi stuff like the Batmobile, 66 Batmobile and things like that came with it in a set with the helicopter and trailer and boat and things like that. They started to bring that sort of stuff out. Always wanted the Enterprise though, the corgi Enterprise. I do see it now and again on eBay and go, should I get it?
That's it.
Hey, Shane.
G'day, Shane.
Ryan, what about you, mate? Did you ever have Hot Wheels and Matchbox?
I had Matchbox, so my mum would buy me and my brother the models of yesteryear cars on our birthdays and Christmases and that. Kind of put away and I don't know, some kind of investment, I guess. But I used to go to a local model shop when I was a teenager and got like the Buck Rogers Corgi ship and the Aston Martin DB5 from James Bond.
Nice.
So I had a couple of those, and then obviously Thunderbirds, Matchbox, had all the Tracy Island and the vehicles and that. So that's what we had a lot of growing up. But I still have fond memories of when I was 4 or 5 with Dad, and he had the original 70s Hot Wheels track set up. It was like the old orange track, and a couple of chairs and pillows, and we just played together with the cars going down the track and that. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Cool. It's funny that you've got this Rudy question up here about VW. So I used to have a yellow VW Hot Wheels. Now, yellow's a boring color. So as a young kid, and I don't know if you've seen what I did with my Dinky Eagle, I loved liquid paper, and I loved Herbie. So out come the liquid paper. I painted that yellow VW with my liquid paper all over, and I drew like with Texter the red and blue lines and 53 on it. And so I hope it's not that really hard to find Hot Wheels VW.
No.
You have to get it restored.
I'm curious. While we're talking about toy cars and stuff, I'm curious if anyone remembers Matchbox Graphic Traffic. Do you remember that? Or Ryan, you might remember that from the 90s because, I guess you're a similar age to me. But
yeah, Matchbox Graphic Traffic.
It basically was like a car with like a shell, and it came in like a blister card with a card back and texters and stickers, and you'd draw up your own racing stripes and your own livery on it and put stickers on it, and it came with like stickers of like logos of Pirelli and that, and the other. But I remember
I never had any, but I do remember seeing them somewhere in the toy shops.
Yeah.
I needed that as a young kid.
You got me thinking of that. Same as Matchbox Connectables. Like, do you remember Matchbox Connectables where you'd break them apart? You'd Frankenstein your car together, and these were all these little gimmicks that Matchbox came. Well, it was much like Ring Raiders, like that I loved to collect. It was just like a gimmick that was around for 6 months that Matchbox came out.
Micro Machines came out.
Well, Micro Machines, I feel like had a pretty strong kind of presence for some years back in the day. But Micro Machines is a great brand.
What about Penny Racers? Did anyone have Penny Racers?
Oh, no,
the game.
No, the little car. So They're probably about, that's probably about an inch, 2 inch, maybe an inch. And they had a little thing at the back, and you'd get like your 5-cent piece, and you'd put it in this slot at the back of your car, and you'd pull it back, and it kind of, the weight at the back would make it do a wheelie, like that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Penny racer. I don't know. We had them.
It's kind of ringing a bell now that you describe it.
I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and say I'm watching one on eBay, so I'll probably go tomorrow to buy that, and it'll be gone.
Sizdog was just asking about. I'm not ignoring you, mate. Was just asking about toy hunting at the op shop. What's the best toy we found? We actually just were having a chat about this a little while back, but I dare say between the four of us, the best one is Ryan picking up was it, a Motu?
It was a Motu
Mantisaur, which was awesome. And Andrew, it's not really an op shop, but I love Andrew finding a yak face in the toy bin at a doctor's practice.
Yeah.
There he is.
That's cool.
The doctor's watching you, not getting it back.
All I find, Sizdog, all I find at best, mate, is VHS and, other fun things for the collection. But the most vintage action figures I've found in the last few years at the op shops are just like 90s Action Man, which is pretty cool to find at an op shop for a couple of bucks a piece. But I don't really collect them. I just have to rescue them. So, but I know Sizdog's been having a bit of good fortune. I don't know if you guys saw Nostalgia Button did an op shop toy hunting video recently where he found a bunch of cool wrestling figures.
Hell in a Cell, and he found
Hell in a Cell.
Oh yes,
for like $12 or something.
Well, and the lady just poured out and says, "Is this what you're after?" And he's like,
like, "Yes, it would be."
I'll take this now.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
picked up some awesome pickups. Like even the last episode at the comic convention that he went to, got some good pickups there as well.
Yeah, that's
it. I think a lot of people know that action figures and that are worth money now too. Yeah. So they don't sort of donate a lot.
And I tend to think there's not only more and more toy collectors out there these days, there's more and more resellers who might not collect action figures, but know vintage action figures can be sold for a bit. So it's almost like you have to walk in there on the day they get put out or within a couple of hours of them getting put out because they're just going to get scooped up. So it's tricky. It sounds like Lee's op shops are similar to mine because mine have absolutely nothing.
Mine got nothing. I've only got 6 around me and they've all got nothing in them.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh, well. Yeah. Yeehaw remembers penny races.
There you go.
Well, we like the as you know, one of our early videos where the smash up derby. And you pull the cord, and it makes that sound, and that was one of our early childhood toys too. Yeah, and they smash together.
I remember they were out of Scott's book. Fuck, that was funny. That was fucking funny.
What's that?
That playing that smash up derby day.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
That was so funny.
Because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. We had to fake it. We actually did. We didn't. We faked it because Matt came down and because they used to be. It wasn't real soft rubber, but they were rubber wheel, and the rubber's gone. Well, the sort of rubberish plastic's gone hard. So when you go like that on the tile, it just sat on the spot. So I said, what we'll do is we'll show it one going that way, one going that way, and then I said, put the camera in there, and we'll just throw them, and then just
we spliced it together.
We did because they wouldn't go, they wouldn't travel along the ground.
Yeah, couldn't get off the ramps anymore.
They needed grip, But I remember playing with that all the time, the smash up derby.
Yeah, all the time.
Yes, Daniel. Matt just said a bad word, but we're lucky that we're lucky that this is on my channel, and I've been known to say from time to time, so it's all good.
I should have said France. I should have taken it. What the France?
No. Listen, like Australians are known to have colourful language, so it's on brand if you want to drop an F-bomb or two. So that's quite okay.
Oh no!
That's all right.
Taylor's got to bounce.
Matt. It's all good.
Bye.
See you guys later.
See you guys.
27th.
So another question for you guys that I've just been thinking about lately, because obviously when we were at Lobo's Collectibles, I saw that Soma World Wrestler Motu style bootleg wrestling figure, and it made me think of being, as a kid, like being gifted two of those knockoff wrestlers. And I know Simon was in here earlier and he and I were chatting about this, but I remember as a kid just being like, these are rubbish. What the hell are these? But because they came with robes, I took the robes off, and a couple of my Hasbros got robes and belts and stuff. Yeah. And now, even though I kind of discarded the figures as a kid, now I'm like, I really want those two Soma bootleg wrestlers back for my collection. They're really hard to find. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to pay like $150 a figure from the US. If I want to eventually just pull the trigger. But do you guys remember as kids being given like bootleg or knockoff or like no-name figures and being like, oh, these were, I'm sure, Matt, like collecting Motu as a kid, were you ever given any of those Remco like Galaxy Warriors mistakenly thinking they were Motu or?
No? No, I
yeah, good parents.
Yeah. Give me a minute on
they were that cheap back then. They were pretty cheap. I mean, a Star Wars figure was like $1.95 or something.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
They didn't need to give like a knockoff, did they, Matt? It's sort of like they were because they were fairly cheap.
I mean, the closest knockoff thing, and it's I guess maybe these days it is the Imperial Godzilla. So I guess there was no real Godzilla figures being done, but Imperial did a Godzilla, which I've got over there somewhere, and a King Kong. And they don't look great, but man, I love that thing. That was probably the closest thing I had to a knockoff, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, that's all right. That's all right. What about you, Ryan? Any knockoff or bootleg figures as a kid where you were just like, what is going on here? Like, I know my grandma or my auntie has meant well, but she's not got me the right thing here.
Well, I remember I always loved RoboCop and that, and we were like on a camping trip or something. Went to like one of those little, I guess, little shops, and they had some knockoff RoboCop figures there. So it was like a really thin plastic RoboCop figure. So I think I bought it for like $5, but man, it was so cheap. Like, it just fell apart. I was trying to put the gun in, and it's just like plastic breaking off, and the paint. I was like, "This is terrible. It's not real. It's bootleg."
Yeah, it happens.
So that's my bootleg memory.
That's awesome. But do you ever have the feeling like you want to try and like identify that bootleg and get it back in your collection just for the
it'd be pretty cool to try and find it. A bit of nostalgia. Yeah.
Because this is the thing, like with those bootleg wrestling figures, I literally could not remember what the figures look like from childhood. I only remember them for the accessories that I let my good figures wear. So I had to identify those figures finally from finding the coats and then trying to work out where those coats came from. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. The figures I had were Jackie Jade and, Captain Iron Mask from the Soma World Wrestling. Like it took me now I kind of want to get them back in the, get them in the collection and give them the respect that I didn't give them when I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
So Phil's in the chat. I was gutted when I got Lannard instead of G.I. Joe. Felt like an offer. Yeah, like that's probably a perfect example. Like it doesn't, it doesn't have to be like, some bootleg,
that's it. Yes, Lannard. I did have a G.I. Joe. I've still got a G.I. Joe. He was a knockoff. I thought he was a G.I. Joe until maybe a few years ago, but he's a Lannard. I have no idea who he is. He's got like the Andrew, the Australian hat they wore in the army, the slouch. Those. He must have been a bit of a Lannard Skippy figure. I don't know.
Well, it was like my street shirt until someone came down and visited me and said, "No, that's a knockoff."
That's right.
It devastated me. I just had to run to the litter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
Shane's
heap
got
of
heap
bootleg
of bootleg
stuff.
Simpson stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
$9. Yeah. See, Andrew, to your point, like you know, back when the original vintage Star Wars figures came out, what did you say they were? Like a couple of bucks a piece?
Yeah, $1.50 or probably $2 at the max.
Yeah, so I'm sure by let's say 1990 here in Australia, when the Ninja Turtles were here, they weren't $1.95 or $2.95. I'm sure they would have been $6 or $7 at least.
Yeah, well, the Star Wars Star Wars came back out with the roided ones in 1995. They was $7.
Yeah.
And then when they went to, they came out with the com chip, not the Phantom Menace, but they did before the Phantom Menace, and that pushed them up to like about $12. And I thought that was insane.
Yeah. Back then, yeah, pretty expensive.
Now they want, depending on the figure, $30, $40. They just, Boba Fett, because he's got a couple of helmets with him, $55, and you go, what a crock of, It's
interesting.
rubbish.
Like Rudy's here asking, are there any bootleg figures that have become collectible in their own right? I'm certainly no expert when it comes to bootleg lines, but I can say in the little that I do know, yes, because you've got, to Retro Cartel Collectibles point, the Galaxy Warriors line. And Matt, here's where I thought maybe you might have, as a big fan of Motu, started to kind of branch out into some of these, like second or B grade, C grade, with respect, bootleg figures.
What the hell is this dude? I think this is a Sun Gold one.
Okay.
He's like,
I'm just having a look through. I think I've got one too.
But I think this is the only one I've got. I think he's Sun Gold.
He's awesome. I love that sort of stuff. And while we're talking Sun Gold, like going back to Rudy's question about, are there any collectible bootleg figures? There's a Sun Gold line of bootleg monster. There you go.
That's a Sun Gold.
Hey, what you doing over there, buddy? Come over here, party.
His arms don't move, does it, Ryan? He hasn't got any
it's like rubbery.
Oh, okay. Matt's is more like the He-Man.
Yeah. But I think
buddy, you're a knockoff of a knockoff.
I was chatting to Matt and Andrew when we were in Melbourne, because Sun Gold does a line of like bootleg Universal monsters, and they're really cool, but they're really hard to come by. I've not bought a few that have been on Australian eBay, and I really regret it. I didn't buy them because they're in horrible shape, but I wish I just bought them regardless now. So there's like there's the Universal monsters, there's the werewolf, the mummy, the zombie, the Dracula, etc., etc. Yeah. But there's a Freddy Krueger bootleg figure, but he's got red and white stripes, and he's called Sharp Hand Joe, and you pay hundreds for him loose, or the high hundreds for him on card, like so. And guys, I've been talking about Universal monsters lately. I'm looking for some Universal monsters representation in the collection, because the original vintage Remco and Mego Universal monsters lines from the 70s, they're bloody hard to come by. So I thought maybe the Sun Gold bootleg monsters might be the way to go, but they're also really expensive as well.
They are. They've gone up in price.
I got bootlegs on the brain at the moment between the Soma Wrestlers and the Sun Gold monsters.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Phil, I have been watching Ed's Retro Geek.
I was just going to say, he gets a lot of bootlegs of turtle figures and a lot of the Galaxy and the Sun Gold O2 stuff.
Is that because they just run out of things to collect, so they got to collect?
Oh, I don't know, but he just seems to get them all the time.
It is funny though. It is funny to think though how bootleg and knockoff and no name figures as a kid, you were just like, I don't know. When I was given those wrestlers, I was just like, this is rubbish. Like I want Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. Who's Jackie Jade? Like
Yeah.
But and it was the same deal. Like people that collecting GI Joes as a kid and getting Lannards, or collecting Motu as a kid and getting these these Galaxy Warriors.
I've got a knockoff Star Wars one I can show you actually on card that I did get from Trash and Treasure back in the 90s.
Actually, I remember getting a knockoff Luke in Stormtrooper outfit. Would have been in the mid 90s from one of those $2 shops. I think it was like $4 or something.
Yeah,
but it was really cheap, like really cheap plastic, you know.
That even cost more than the Mantis Saw. What a rip!
Funny to think.
What a rip-off.
Now this is from Mexico because I remember it clearly. There was a Mexican lady at Trash and Treasure. She'd go to Mexico back home and she'd bring off all these toys back. And they were knockoffs, of course. And this is the Unhappy Stormtrooper. See? And he's on a Luke Skywalker card.
Actually, that's the one I'm talking about. That's the one I got. Yeah.
Have you? The Unhappy
I don't have it anymore, but yeah, I remember finding that.
Yeah, so that's from Mexico. They did everything virtually on the same card back.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and on the back, actually, the picture's not bad. Look, it's the original Star Wars poster picture.
That's the one I got. There you go.
All of the roided ones down there, but the Unhappy Stormtrooper. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
You're bringing back memories now for Ryan.
Yep.
But it's funny to
on a Luke Skywalker card. I was getting them confused.
Yeah. But it's funny to think about as a kid being given something like this and being like, this isn't the real deal. I don't want it. Like,
No.
But now collectors go crazy for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think it was that one's worth I looked it up, about 100 US. You know, going for. So
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Should never have got rid of it, Ryan. Should never have got rid of it.
Never sell anything. That's the motto of collecting. Keep on collecting. Keep on.
Keep on hoarding.
Have to get a second shed here.
Yeah, that's right.
We just don't have 3 garages to store the shit.
No.
Come on, you've got plenty of room in that house, Matt.
Darling, can I have the garage?
Yeah, well, you got the garage. What's that got in it? Bloody cars or something? Get them out of there. Let them rust in the street like I do. Well, that's the thing. That's what it's on my brother. He collected, he grew up with Matchbox, collected that.
Yeah.
Now he's got 2 HK Monaros on a stacker, worth 300,000 each, whatever they are. And
maybe the rest.
Yeah, but that's what he did. He went into from his experience as a kid where, I went into from playing with toys to keep on just playing with toys. But,
yeah.
Never seen one.
No.
I think I've seen maybe like a Hot Toys type version of a Mecha Godzilla from Ready Player One. Not a toy as such.
No.
No.
I've not seen one either.
No.
Not seen one either. Did you guys want to do a little bit of 80s toy and pop culture trivia?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
do a quick round, I reckon.
90-minute mark.
Let's do it.
So,
let's do it, mate.
So, guys in the chat, I'm a sucker for a bit of a game. Last time I hosted, we did the put a figure on it. What's that?
Do I need more?
What's that?
Do I need more?
Do you want to go get a fresh one?
Yeah, I'm getting a fresh one. I'll be back.
Okay, I'll set it up and you go do that. But so last time we did the put a figure on it, guessing the original sticker price of 80s action figures. Today I'm just keeping it simple. I don't have a present, I don't have something that I can queue up and run through questions. What I did was, so about Christmas last year, I was taking down into the bin room all my rubbish from having Christmas at my joint. And in the bin room, I find this right here, brand new.
Wow.
That's so 80s, the trivia game of the decade. So it's just an 80s trivia game.
Someone was throwing it out.
Well, you know what, Andrew? Someone was either throwing it out like it would have been an unwanted gift, or someone put it down while they threw their rubbish out and forgot to pick it up, and I came down and scooped it up. So
cool.
I thought this was right up my alley. Now
that's amazing.
The categories are, everything from movies to music to TV to sport to politics to whatever. We're cutting all that shit out. Now, what I've done is I've just grabbed a few question cards from 2 different categories. So I've got movies and I've got hobbies and technology. And hobbies and technology includes everything from video games to action figures to toys to all sorts of other stuff. So what I thought I'd do is maybe I ask 6 questions from the hobbies and technology, 6 questions from the movie, so 12 questions total. If you guys, like, when I ask you a question, if you know the answer, just use your name as the buzzer, say your name, and then we'll get you to answer. But in the chat, if anyone knows these, definitely chime in and answer, and I can try to keep score so maybe someone in the chat can win this whole thing. So, do you want to rip into it? Scott? Oh, you win bragging rights. Respect. Yeah. Respect.
You win a lock of Scotty's hair.
Yeah, well, we can do that. I got a lock to spare.
Wow.
Alrighty, so let's do movies first. Alrighty, we'll do movies first, and then we'll finish with then I'll finish with toys and video games.
I'm definitely going to lose this.
So let me start with this.
Oh, yeah, you got to say your name, don't you?
You know what? Let's do a test question. Let's do a test question real quick.
Okay.
Indiana Jones has a fear of which animal ever since he fell into a crate full of when he was a teenager? Sorry? Who got that?
I think it was Matt.
Okay. Matt, go ahead.
Snakes.
Okay. That's a practice question, but you got it right. So, Jeff's chimed in with snakes as well.
Yeah,
and I might end up giving a point to someone in the chat if they come in like a split second after one of you blokes answer, because they got to type it out. So that was a test. Let's start with this one. Which futuristic city is depicted in Blade Runner?
What does the chat say?
Andrew?
Yep, Andrew.
Is it Boston?
Incorrect.
Right. Is it Detroit?
Incorrect.
Matthew.
Matt, go ahead.
Chicago.
Wrong. Jeff, you get a point. It's Los Angeles.
Well done, Jeff.
Okay. We're getting there.
Jeff McKelwey is on a point and is leading the game.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good question. I remember it being LA, but unless you know what Phil said Tokyo. That's actually a pretty spot on guess. What's that, Ryan?
I was going to say Tokyo as well, but I thought
that kind of feels right, because it's if you guys remember, it's like almost this like homogenized version of Los Angeles with like a lot of Japanese influence.
Yeah, a lot of.
Alrighty, next question. Actually, no, let me do this. This might be in Crocodile Dundee. What does Mick Dundee say when a kid tries to steal his wallet?
Not son of a bitch. No, it's not that.
I don't know. I don't know this one.
G'day, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to give. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds for someone in the chat to get it, and then we'll move on.
That's not it. That's not it.
It's not it though. That's when he's in.
That's when he's with
Jeff,
the guys.
Jeff's got it. That's not a knife. That's a knife.
What?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Well, when someone pulls a knife on him to steal his wallet, he says that's not a knife. That's a knife.
When he, you said just when he stole his wallet.
It was different. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
The way you
what does Mick Dundee say when a kid tries to steal his wallet?
I thought he was a grown man that tried to steal his wallet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, look,
I thought it was an older person.
That's
you know what? Jeff didn't get it. Yeehaw got it. Sorry, guys. On my screen, who was the first in the chat to say that's not a knife?
Yeehaw.
Okay. So neither of you blokes are on a point, but we got Jeff and Yeehaw on a point. All righty, let me try.
And I get a point. Do I get a point for the practice round?
Nah, no points for the practice. No. All right, you guys ready? This is question number 3 for the 80s movies. In 1989's Uncle Buck, John Candy's character is babysitting his nephew, but which actor plays the nephew?
Matthew.
Yes.
Macaulay Culkin.
Correct.
Oh,
Come on, Home Alone,
And I'll
boys.
give
oh,
give a
shit,
second
no.
for the chat.
Yeah. Such a good film, Uncle Buck.
It is.
Oh man, do I give Yeha a point? He's come in. Do you reckon he started putting that out there before Matt said it?
No, give
No.
it to Matt.
No, I'll give it to Matt, but I was going to give Yeha a point as well.
Yeah, I reckon Yeehaw.
Well, Mike came in before Yeehaw, so.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah,
Culkin.
he said Culkin.
Okay,
Well,
you know what?
Culkin.
Mike gets a point.
Mike. Damn you, Mike.
All right, Mike gets a point. So that's alrighty. So here we go. This is question number 4 in the movies. Name Bill and Ted's band in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Matthew.
Yep.
Wild Stallions.
Correct.
Yeah.
A few seconds for the chat.
No one. Let's
No one
just
got
see
it.
if they can.
No one got it.
Okay. All right. Two more movie questions, and then we'll switch over to the toys and pop culture.
Come on, Andrew. Come on.
All right.
Well, Darth Muzzer did get it. So did Jeff. So did Sis.
And Nostalgia Button.
But I don't know at what point to cut. Like, I don't know. It's hard to know how much benefit of the doubt to give the chat on time.
Yeah, because there's like would have been a bit of a delay there, I reckon.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, give it a Sis Dog. He was the first
Oh,
one.
yes, Sis.
I'll give it to right. Sis Dog gets a point as well. So Matt, you're in the lead with 2 points. Okay. Who was the original owner of the treasure map in the Goonies?
Oh, Matt, you'll have to get that.
Well, Matthew says Cobblepot. What's his name? Are you talking Cobblepot?
No.
No.
Who was the original owner of the treasure map?
We're not saying the family, are you?
No, the original owner of the treasure map.
Oh, the original was One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, you get so Matt, you get it, and Retro Cartel Collectibles gets a point as well.
Yeah, he probably smashed him. Well, actually, Muzzer got in there first before him.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah,
fuck, he did too. Okay, sorry. All right.
Sorry, Retro Cartel.
Sorry,
and Muzzer would beat me because I'm like going blah blah. So he probably.
Matt, I'll give you a point because you didn't read that from the chat.
Oh yeah, true.
All right. So this is the last of the movie questions. Sorry, I haven't actually prepared these. I'm just going through and trying to find good questions.
That's all good. Go Muzzer.
Okay, in Beverly Hills Cop, what does Axel find when he searches a warehouse that he believes was used to smuggle drugs?
Andrew?
Come on, Andrew.
Was it coffee beans?
Correct.
Ooh.
Wow. See,
Andrew.
Now, anyone in the chat? Oh, you know what? Oh, shit. Okay.
Sis come up
I've
that one.
got to give Sis Dog a point for that.
Yeah.
That's my point.
All right. So that's it for
I'm gonna
movies.
get one. Come on.
So that's it for movies.
Is
So
Ryan
basically,
one?
No,
What's
I
that?
haven't got any yet.
Ryan.
No, so I'll give you guys a score update.
Yep.
Matt's on 3 points. Sis Dog's on 2 points. Jeff, Yeehaw, Andrew, and Muzzer are all on 1 point.
Ooh, and Ryan's on.
Ryan's on 0 points. But there's 6 questions here.
All
okay,
right.
Ryan. This is it, Ryan. This is where you come back.
This is it.
Alrighty. And guys, you know that, listen, I'm all for diversity, and I'll give you guys some girl toy questions as well, and that's what we're going to start with. You know what? I've given you a clue.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have said that. Which range of toys featured horseshoe points on the packaging that could be redeemed for discounts?
Andrew.
Yes.
My Little Pony.
Correct.
Oh,
I'm a secret brony.
We'll just have a few seconds for someone to hit that in the chat.
Well done, Andrew.
I think, Andrew, that is a point for you on your own because no one's chimed in with that yet.
No,
So.
they're coming through now. Daniel,
Jeff, the bronies out there.
Jeff got it first.
Let's give Jeff a point. Again, I'm giving the chat the benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm assuming there's a bit of lag here. So if someone comes in pretty shortly after one of you blokes, I'm going to say they got it. So
yeah, it was
all right, guys. That's 5 more.
5 more.
There's one here that I really liked.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Let's do this one. Which 80s memory game featured 4 colored lights?
Andrew.
Ryan.
Andrew.
Simon Says.
Well, it's called, the game is Simon, but I'll give you a point.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll give you a point. Okay, I'll give the chat a few seconds. Yeah, okay, I'll give Muzzer a point as well.
No.
All right,
Mike.
so...
No, it was use your mic.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, was it?
Use your mic.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yep, it's Mike. So Mike's on 2.
So
I think you can still buy that too, Simon, can't you?
Yeah, you can
All right,
still
so...
Yeah.
Okay. There's one question here that I really liked. Where is it? Here we go.
What was that, Rudy?
This is question 3. What's that?
Oh, Rudy's come back with Franken's ESP. I'd never even heard of that one.
No, neither have I. Okay, this is question 3 in the toys category. Which 80s action figures were warriors from the planet Symbion?
Crap, my Dax.
80s action figures, warriors from the planet Symbion. G'day, Mark from Blue Harvest. Welcome, mate.
G'day,
Ryan. Were they chimpanzees?
Ryan, you didn't say your name, but no, they're not.
No, I did. I said Ryan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, Jeff, you got it wrong.
I got it wrong, sir.
Oh,
No. Sorry, guys. The planet Symbion. Symbion.
I thought you were saying Simeon. Sorry.
Okay, no. Let me pronounce that again. Which action figures were warriors from the planet Symbion or Symbion? Symbion.
No, I think we're going to have to just give that to Mike. Is Mike's answer right in there?
Not Thundercats.
Wow. Okay,
I'm staggered. Not Bucky O'Hare. Not Transformers. I'm actually super surprised. Not Biker Mice. 80s action figures. Planet Symbion. Jeff, you are correct, my man. They are sectors.
Sectors, okay.
No, that's why.
Now, there might have been time to Google, but I'm still going to give you a point because these blokes in the chat didn't know. So
I've got no idea either.
With 3 questions to go, Jeff, Andrew, and Matt are all on 3 points.
How much is Ryan on?
Ryan's on 0 points. Thank you for asking.
Let's
have a video game question. Let's have a video game question. Jeff, I trust you, mate. You're good. Alrighty. What type of animal is Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog?
Ryan.
Come on,
is it
Ryan.
A fox?
Sorry?
A fox?
Incorrect.
Oh.
Matt, Andrew?
Matthew. I say a hedgehog.
Not quite.
I say a bandicoot.
Not quite.
Can I try again?
It's an echidna.
Oh, Daniel got it right.
Daniel's got it right.
I was going to say squirrel, but
the Aussie version was a drop bet.
But there was a rule. There was a rule that Daniel passed anything he got right, he passes on to me. So yeah. Well done, Daniel.
2 more questions, and I'm just trying to find some good ones.
Come on.
So I need some elevator music here. I'm just trying to find something good.
See, even Yeehaw was like said fox.
Yeah.
And the Stars button as well.
I wouldn't have got that one right.
G'day, Nick Smith. Thank you for joining us.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make these last couple good.
I
Here we go. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, 2 more questions, guys, with Jeff, Andrew, and Matt all on 3 points. Which action figure or which action figures were the subject of a lawsuit due to their similarity to Conan?
Oh, Matthew.
Matt,
Masters of the Universe.
correct.
Ooh!
Too easy.
It fell onto my plate.
Matt races the
Went
board.
right into his category.
Okay, Retro Cartel Collectibles, you get a point, my friend.
Oh, Jeff's come in with a He-Man as well.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's Jeff.
Jeff
sorry, I'm
first,
bloody freaking behind on this fucking chat. Okay, Jeff. All right.
Here's the France.
So we've got 1 question to go with Jeff and Matt tied at 4 points apiece.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Just go back. Okay, here we go. I like this one. Name the 1987 flexible rubber toys made by Mattel themed around creatures and Halloween.
Andrew.
It'd
be something like Stretch Armstrong?
No. Themed around creatures and Halloween.
Oh,
1987 Mattel.
No.
Don't know.
Okay, let me read the full question because I actually thought it was too easy.
There you go, Jeff.
Name the 1987 flexible rubber toys made by Mattel themed around goblins, aquatic creatures, and Halloween. 1987 Mattel flexible rubber toys, goblins, aquatic creatures, and Halloween.
There's a couple of answers, isn't there?
Not creepy crawlies, not mad balls. No.
Mad balls, yeah. Okay.
Bloody hell! I probably don't know.
1987 flexible rubber toys.
What about
Mark from Blue Harvest, you are 100% correct, my friend. It is Boglins.
Comes in.
I've actually got some of those coming.
Alrighty, so that is it. Well, that's it for the questions, but we've still got a draw, so we need to separate Matt and Jeff here.
Can we just?
Let me go one more.
Yeah, I should have known that answer. I was just doing some research on Boglins, so.
Let me go one more question, but let's just have Matt and Jeff answering this.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. If it's 90s, maybe Jeff will probably smash me. There must be a winner.
80s.
Oh,
it's all 80s, mate.
This is all 80s stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dear. Right, Jeff. Oh, dear. There must be a winner, apparently.
Well, I'd like to have a winner, you know?
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, this is something different. This is something a little bit different.
Yep.
What type of toy was the 1984 Tamiya Grasshopper? What type of toy was the 1984 Tamiya?
Matthew.
Hold your answer because I just want to give Jeff a couple of seconds. Okay, go.
It was a remote control car.
Correct. Now give Jeff a few seconds here. Otherwise, you are the winner.
Jeff, lane one. There you go, Matt. You won.
You're very kind, Jeff. Thank you.
Jeff, good on you, mate. You did bloody well.
Oh, dear. Well done, Jeff.
And that is it for our little trivia game. Nice work, Matt. And with all that said,
that was good.
We've been going for approaching 2 hours now, so maybe we start to put a little bit of a bow on it. Now, what I will say is this, because we were talking about this earlier, just in case we forget. So, just to the guys in the chat, so we've obviously been running the collector's pack every second week from maybe June, July to now. We've had a really good run. Yeah, we've had a ton of fun shows. We did a show where we were all together in person. We've had some awesome guests. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a couple of weeks off, but we will be back mid-December for like a Christmas special. So I'm looking forward to that. We might have some guests that we tee up for that. We'll see how we go, but it's probably going to be a longer episode. We're probably going to be talking Christmas memories and all that sort of stuff. So we'll do that sometime in mid-December. We haven't set a date for that just yet, have we?
No.
Well, okay, we'll work that out, but we won't be back at the end of November. So we'll be skipping a fortnight, but then mid-December we'll be back and we'll have a bit of fun for Christmas time. I might have to. One of these doesn't last me a show, so I might have to get like an esky next to me for the Christmas episode and get a bit jolly.
one of those little kegs that you tap.
I might get half pissed on the next one. I don't know. We'll see how we go.
I might join you.
I try to limit myself to one on a live stream, but for Christmas, I might actually just turn it up a bit.
Why not?
Why not?
G'day, Chip.
But guys, before we put a bow on it, later, Pete. That's fine, mate. We understand, man. It's obviously getting extra late for you over there. But guys, before we wrap it up, was there anything else that you wanted to chat about? Or we covered it all?
No, it was
pretty much covered everything.
It's
been pretty good. It's been really good.
We're all looking forward to the toy show on the 27th.
That's going to be fun.
Penrith, it'll be good to see our old buddies there.
Yeah, it'd be good to see.
We're the old buddies, aren't we? We're the young buddies there.
I'll be doing a toy fair on the 27th in Perth, so I'm going to try and do a bit of a video capture on that to kind of see what other sellers are selling.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be good. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
But I see Mark from Blue Harvest comment. Yes, mate, we will definitely be out of the cup by then. I do not have. I'm really looking forward to the World Cup kicking off. As weird as it is that it's in the middle of the football season, but I do not have high hopes for Australia. I'll just say that. But I'll still be cheering. I'll still be cheering the boys along.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. Shane, why only half? Well, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Maybe I'll get more than half. Maybe I'll get more than half pissed. We'll see how that goes.
We better not make him the host. That could be interesting.
We'll see how we go. We'll see. I like to keep it professional, but also have some fun.
Let's make Scott the host and make him get pissed.
Let's do that.
Yeah, Luke's doesn't sound like he has the highest hopes for England either, but I don't know. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go.
You never know. You never know.
Half the battle.
I think I like England's chances more than Australia.
Who's England? Who's England in with?
Mate, I can't even remember. Who are we in with? We're with Denmark, Tunisia, and is it France?
France as well, yeah.
What, the France?
So, I mean, we've got some work to do, but we'll see how we go.
We've got someone there from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Jeff. Yep, our trivia runner-up.
Oh, cool.
You're a winner.
Jeff, you're most welcome, mate. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. It was good hanging out with you.
Thanks for joining us. Awesome to have you.
Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
England has Wales, Iran, and the US.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, England should. I don't think they should. Well,
They
I don't know.
should beat the US. I'm so surprised when I seen the rankings with where Wales and Iran are. I just went, "Oh, okay, good." I'm surprised with half of these countries how far up the rankings they are.
Yeah. I mean, Iran has to be one of the better countries in the Asian Football Confederation. And Wales has some great players, so we'll see how it goes. But I might wrap it up there, guys. Ryan, have you got anything coming out this week?
I might have an episode either Friday or probably the weekend. Doing another mega unboxing.
Alrighty, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Andrew, are you unboxing any more of your vintage stuff that you've had for years?
I don't know if anyone. I could give you a premiere. Only a second. It's right here. Another one that I haven't got out in a long time, and Matt's got this one. And that's the Trend Masters Jupiter 2.
That's so nice. Lost in Space.
And it is a great set, that one. So, I thought I'd do that one this Sunday. Yeah, just another.
I would
Does
tune in for
does
that
that
one
light
for
up?
sure.
Does it light up, Andrew?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's electronic. Yeah, I think
Looked like
yeah,
from the
lights
pictures,
and
the light.
sounds. I can see it says there, lights and sounds.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I thought I'd
seen that.
get that out of the box and have a look. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
unfortunately, I have to put them back in the box at the moment. I don't know where to display
Your 3-car garage.
Yeah. Matt's got his on display.
Yeah, just sitting down there with his V9 robot.
Yeah.
Next to the 18.
Actually, I got quite a bit of Lost in Space because that was another great TV show that we grew up with. You know, and met a couple of the actors that came out to Australia. You know, and they were quite good. But yeah, so
some of them good, some of them not so good.
Some of them good, some not so good. Yeah.
What's Mark saying? Swap it for my bird of prey.
Oh yeah.
The Playmobil bird of prey.
Okay.
That looks cool. Are you
I
going to
think
get
he'd rather the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I want the Enterprise, I'm unfortunately going to suck it up and have to pay a couple $100 extra.
I don't know how much they are now.
Well, that was what $550 or something, wasn't it, on Zavvi? I think about.
It was on there for a while.
About 150 more I have to pay to get one here in Australia.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
I'll keep a lookout for you. If I see one at the toy fair, I'll let you know.
Yeah, they'd want more than that at the toy fair for sure.
Yeah,
for something like that. So
yeah.
But anyway,
is it when you get ready for a toy fair, Ryan? Is it like a lot of work? Like, do you plan a while in advance what you're taking, or do you kind of the day before just grab? Like, how does that work?
So the last one I did, I spent a good couple of nights just going through everything and put them in baggies and pricing them and that. So yeah, there is quite a bit of mental work involved in pricing stuff. But then sometimes when you get there, you just kind of chuck it all out and then on the table and then
and just price things as you go.
Price them as you go, yeah. But I try and price stuff as close as possible because I think it's good to have the price there.
Well, make your life easier on the day, surely.
Yeah, because I just like trying to be honest and upfront.
I don't know how you do it, Ryan. I just couldn't do it. I'd be sweating just someone picking it up.
I don't. Yeah.
I just couldn't part with it.
Yeah, I've always collected and sold, so that's just.
Can't sell this toy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had the only thing I ever sold at once was that spare Space Eagle. Remember, Matt? I had 3 of them.
Yes.
And I
sold one. Cried.
I don't know why I did it. I think I did it just because the fact to try how eBay would go selling something. And
okay.
But so now I'm only down to 2 Eagles, and you go.
And you want it back? Maybe you could email them on eBay and say, "Can I have it back?"
Yeah, you can try to find it. Yeah.
It's only sale, so it should be easy.
Where it went to.
But Ryan, when you do you kind of put a bit of a hard line between the items that you buy to sell and the items that you buy for your collection? Like, do you have a little bit of separation, or will you have something in your collection, have it on display, and then a year later be like, oh no, I'm just going to sell it? Like, or do you kind of keep that whole thing separate?
It depends on the day, I guess. I try and buy in bulk, so I buy lots of different things like Batman figures or sort of bulk lot stuff, and then but it just depends. Sometimes I might have a big item that I put a crazy price on, and if someone wants it, then yeah. But no, it's good.
Fair enough, mate. Well, look, any of that turtle stuff, if you sell any of like the main turtle bits you have, mate, definitely give us a look in.
I do have them. Yeah, I can show you this later, but I do have a baggie of
all those parts,
turtle stuff.
Yeah, I've got about 20 different accessories I need to complete, 88, 89, 90. So I know exactly what I need and I know exactly what I don't need.
I'm more than happy to help all you guys out. Like I know I helped Matt with the mask vehicle. I sold 2 figures to Dean recently. He was after some turtle ones that was in an auction that we were looking at. So I'm always happy to help out.
Yeah, that's what I do too, Jeff. So I sell stuff just to get money to buy other things.
Buy other stuff, yeah. Well,
So
I suppose.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah,
bulk things are really good in that.
Yeah.
Buy them and sell off the other parts you don't need.
That's correct.
Yeah, I like doing that.
Don't sell anything, people. Keep it in case you need to do a live stream one day and they go, I remember that. You go, yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Look, if we all had a 3-car garage, I'd collect very differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mate, it's getting crowded in here too. It's getting very crowded.
And all the other rooms that he's taken over in the house as well.
Yeah.
No, still the office there's only got some of the sort of more fancy looking things, I suppose, in it, but
and every wardrobe and closet in the house.
Old blockbuster signs and
well,
Andrew is keep on flip,
to Phil's point, Andrew really lives the mantra.
Well, he thought of the name, so of course.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Matt's getting there himself. I mean, have a look at Scotty's video of Matt with his collection.
Yeah, you've got pretty killer.
What it makes a great is the diversity he's got in the toys, and it really comes out really well on video too.
Yeah,
that's it. It does.
Thanks.
That's it. And I was pleased that video's been getting a real nice reaction. I mean, it's been out for well over a month now, but the views keep ticking on up, and it gets lots of nice feedback. So it's a beautiful collection, Matt. You should definitely be proud of it.
Yeah, it's nothing to be sneezed at, that's for sure. And
absolutely.
And I've always said it's not quantity, it's quality, and Matt's got a lot of quality stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can have a lot of stuff, but it's no good if you've got a line and half of them are just scuffed and haven't got accessories or.
Yeah, but even still, compared to someone that's been, that's in a similar boat to me, that's been collecting for 4 or 5 years or whatever, Matt's got some serious volume as well, because you've also got that storage room where
that's right. He's got his little hidey storage hole too.
Yeah, that's it. As long as you're collecting what you love and collecting how you love to collect, well, that's what it's all about. There's no right, like we always say, there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's just what makes you happy, and
that's it.
And as I was saying before, I don't know about you guys, but I get a craving sometimes, just like a food craving, and you think, those Star Trek figures, and then you sort of get into them a little bit, and then you go, I'm bored with that, and then you just go, maybe that over there, and
kind of just move on to different toy lines.
You move on the toy lines and that, and.
Well, I've been thinking because there's been a lot of stuff recently about G.I. Joe, and I've got a lot of stuff G.I. Joe that I'd really like to display, but the thing is, what do I take away so I can put G.I. Joe up? And I thought maybe the Toy Biz superheroes and the helicarrier may have to make room on that shelf over there so they can some G.I. Joes, because G.I. Joes were massive as a kid for myself, and I've still got them there, so I'd love to get them out there and displayed.
Matt, could you put cabinets outside your toy room and use that space, or not really?
Well, I do. I've got a cabinet. I've got just a detail I've got to put up yet. Then what do I put in there? I've got to decide. It's a first world problem, but
how to do all this.
It's part of it. Part of the fun, to just kind of do that.
It sure is. White Shadow Matt is the man, all right, and definitely check that video out, and I hope you enjoy it, mate.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Alrighty, fellas. Well, maybe we wrap it up there. We've been going for a good couple of hours. Well, just about a couple of hours. So maybe you guys, anything else to go, or we put a bow on it there?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys.
Thanks everyone in the chat.
Yep, big thank you to everybody in the chat. Without you guys, we're just sitting here having a chinwag. But you guys really make it what it is. So so thanks to everybody that tuned in, and especially all those that got involved in the chat. We really appreciate you.
Thanks to everyone
and
coming.
And we'll see you in probably about 4 weeks' time, 3-4 weeks' time, something like that.
3 or 4 weeks' time. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, we'll definitely work out where it's going to be hosted and obviously what. Yeah, I'm assuming we do a Monday, but we'll work all that out and we'll spread the news and hopefully get a nice little turnout and have some fun for a bit of a Christmas chat. So guys, thank you all so much, boys. Thank you for joining me, and we'll wind it up there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Until next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, my bottle's gone.
Cheers.